please do leave it on my page and I will be happy to answer the question for you. Welcome to another episode of Talking with Dr. Donna. I am your host, Dr. Donna White-Carey, and I am so excited that you are sharing in this appointment with your doctor today. The doctor is in, and today we are going to talk about a brand new tool that was released by the California Department of Public Health Department. It's called CA Notify, or California Notify. And what it is a new tool to help us to determine who in our surroundings has tested positive for coronavirus. And it is a way for us to keep track of whether or not you have been exposed. Again, it's a tool. It's not the only tool we're using in the state of California, but it is a tool that we are using to help us do contact tracing. Why is contact tracing even important in the state of California? Well, yesterday, we had the ominous distinction of having the most cases in the entire union. So the entire country, California, had over 200 deaths yesterday. 200. I think that is a sad testament of what our state is dealing with. And so it's important, with over 200 people dying in just one day, over 1.4 million people infected with the virus in the state of California, and over 20,000 people in total just in the state of California who have died. It is important that we come up with new ways of tracking this virus and recognizing the importance. Where you go, what you do impacts not just yourself, but it impacts me. What I do, where I go, impacts not just me, but also impacts you. That's why this new tool was developed. It is not a tool to replace what's happening in public health departments across this country, including in California, including in Alameda County, where I reside. It's not taking the place of contact investigations that is happening across this country. I'm fortunate enough to have a partnership with Alameda County Public Health Department, and I have a team of people who are working in conjunction with the Public Health Department to do contact tracing or case investigation. We are calling people who have tested positive, giving them information about their positive test, and then getting from them people who they have come in contact with, contacting them and notifying them as well. This new tool, California Notify, is another tool to help with contact tracing. If you have an iPhone, you already have the ability to turn on this notification. If you go, I'm going to show you on my phone. I turned it on yesterday once it went live. And if you go into your settings on your app, okay, I have an iPhone. If you go into your settings, right here, you'll see exposure notifications. If you tap that, it will ask you, would you like to turn on the notification for CA Notify? I've already turned it on, so you'll see, yes, I have it on. Now, if you do not want to turn it on, that's up to you. But it is not a feature that is already turned on your iPhone. So even though it's there on your iPhone, don't believe the hype. It's not an automatic turn on, and we're not automatically notifying you. You have to actually go in and enable that. Just like you have to enable your camera to be used, just like you have to enable your microphone to be used, you also have to enable this feature on your iPhone. If you have an Android phone, then you actually have to download the app through Google Play. That is how you're going to get that app onto your phone. All right, so that's how you access it and get it onto your phone. Now, how do you even use it? So I had to call my IT friends and my cybersecurity friends because they're way smarter than I am about this stuff, and to sort of get a sense of what it is that the technology that we're using. Now, first of all, it's important to know California is not the first state to give us this technology. This technology already exists in about 18 other states. It's been in use, since September. So there are other states who are already using this. California is just another state, and then hopefully more states will join in. So we're not the first, all right? So we're using this again as a way to help when you're in contact with someone. It uses Bluetooth technology. Now, my friends tell me that Bluetooth technology is sort of a low power technology as opposed to GPS technology, which uses satellites and can tell you your location and ping you to a certain point with certainty. Bluetooth technology, however, is a little low power, more of a smaller radius of information that can be passed. So the way it works is that if you turn on the feature on your phone or download the app, then that means there's someone else who has the phone, let's say an iPhone, that has the feature turned on as well. That means that now I come into close proximity with this other person who has their iPhone enabled to receive this notification. And as we're there, the phones start to talk to each other. It sends a signature, as it's called. I hope I'm doing all this language right. It sends a signature. So it sends like a code. And the code goes from iPhone to iPhone. And the information that is shared in that code is simply, hey, there's a phone in the vicinity who also has this feature turned on. That's it. It doesn't share your name. It doesn't share any information about you. It shares your location only in the sense that say, hey, I'm in this store at this time. But it does not provide the person, the other person who's has the app enabled with any information about you, and you don't get any information about the other person. Everything is anonymous. All right, so let's say I'm standing in line at the grocery store. I have my phone enabled to receive notifications. Someone else has their phone enabled to receive notifications. And let's say that person tests positive, right? They get a test. The California Department of Public Health notifies them, hey, you tested positive for coronavirus. This is the other step that has to happen. Let's say it's me, that I tested positive for coronavirus. Then what I have to do is go into my phone and let my phone know that I have tested positive for coronavirus. What that will do is notify people who were in my vicinity within the past 10 to 14 days. The signatures will drop off after that because that's out of the range of being infectious for having coronavirus. So if I saw you a month ago, it's not going to ping you, right? But if I saw you 3 days ago or I saw you a week ago, it will ping you to notify you that, hey, there was a person that you were recently in the vicinity of who has tested positive for coronavirus. Now, is that cause for you to panic and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to get coronavirus? Not really. It all depends on the other information, right? So you know where you were at that time when it says that you were in contact with someone, and you're going to have to say to yourself, was I wearing a mask? Was the people around me, were they wearing masks? Where was I in my social bubble, or was I not in my social bubble? So this tool is just providing some information. It is not saying that you are positive for coronavirus. It is not saying that you are going to even be maybe necessarily in a high risk contact situation with someone who's coronavirus. It just tells you that you have been in the vicinity of someone who has now tested positive for coronavirus. Why is that helpful? That's helpful because if you're doing high risk activities, it should give you a little clue that maybe you should stop doing high risk activities. We have a new modified shelter in place order in place here in Northern California. So it should tell you maybe, hey, maybe I'm taking too many chances of going out and to places that are non-essential to me. It should also let you know the importance of you wearing a mask every single time you step out of your household. It also should remind you that you should social distance from people, because all of these things, wearing a mask or a face covering, social distancing, all of these things decrease your risk of actually contracting coronavirus, even if you are in the vicinity of someone who tests positive for coronavirus. So, to summarize, there is a new tool called California Notify that you are able to turn on as a feature on the iPhone or download on your Android device that is in use as another way to help us trace those who are in contact with people who test positive for coronavirus. That's important because we know that the more people you come into contact with coronavirus, the higher chance of you actually contracting coronavirus. I mean, that's pretty simple, right? You know that. But it should not be something that should scare you. It is something, again, to use as an additional tool for the tracing of coronavirus. In addition to already the contact investigation that is taking place in public health departments across this country. And in addition to your own use of common sense and listening to us professionals who are telling you how to decrease your chances of having coronavirus, masking, social distancing, great hand washing, staying at home unless it is essential for you to go out. All right? In the next coming weeks, we are going to talk a lot more about this tool. We're going to talk a lot about this impending vaccine that is coming next week. And we are really going to talk about how to get a handle on this pandemic. We were doing well, we opened up, and now we're not doing well again. So let's really take care of each other. Let's make sure that when we walk out of our homes, that we wear a mask or a facial covering, that we remain social distance more than 6 feet apart from one another, that we wash our hands when we're out, and that we really stick to essential activities. I know it's tough. I know it's been a long time. I know that you're tired, but we have to stay the course. Over 20,000 people are no longer with us in this state. Those are mothers, fathers, brothers, uncles, sisters, cousins. There's families who are being impacted by this virus every single day. And I don't want you to have someone in your family impacted as well. So let's all band together, come together, and let's do what we need to do so that we can get rid of this virus and be able to go back to a new normal. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for keeping your appointment with your doctor. I am Dr. Donna White Carey. This is Talking with Dr. Donna, and my goal is to build generational health, starting with you right now, right where you are. Get smart about your health and your knowledge of your health, and then share that information with those younger than you and older than you. Let's keep our generations alive and healthy. Take care, and I will see you soon. If you have a question for Dr. Donna, please do leave it on my page, and I will be happy to answer the question for you.